Right now at 5, a push for change, why a lawsuit could change the look of your ballot. And Governor Evers making a stop in La Crosse. The state budget investment he says will be crucial for western Wisconsin communities.
Watching WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 5.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Ken Kozarowski. Emily is off tonight. It'll be a big night for La Crosse's Judiciary and Administration Committee. They are set to vote on recommendations for 2 controversial topics. News 8 Now's Jadius McGee joins us in studio tonight with the latest. Jadius.
Yeah, Ken, the La Crosse City Council is taking up 2 proposals tonight that could affect both public safety and public health. One ordinance would ban the sale of hemp-based THC products to anyone under 21. Stores will need to check IDs and stay at least 1,000 feet away from schools, parks, and hospitals. There's also a possible amendment to reduce that boundary to 500 feet. Another pair of resolutions deal with the city's aging drinking fountains. One would install new ADA-compliant fountains around town. The other would delay removing old ones to explore ways to preserve them. The Common Council will likely make a final decision for an August 14th vote. Reporting in the studio, Jadius McGee, News 8 Now.
Jadius, thank you. A nonpartisan group from La Crosse wants to change the way elections work in Wisconsin. News 8 Now's Grace Monk joins us with their latest push to bring back fusion voting. Grace.
A lawsuit to bring back fusion voting is moving through the Wisconsin court system. In the meantime, a group known as Leader Ethics is campaigning for the cause. Fusion voting allows a candidate to be listed on the ballot under multiple parties. This means that votes from all parties supporting that candidate are combined to help them win. Leader Ethics aims to promote transparency and unison among elected officials. The group's executive director says fusion voting would allow ballots to reflect Wisconsin as a purple state.
We think this is going to be a way to try to bring the 2 parties closer together so that we recognize that there's a moderate population in our state, that they're looking for solutions and not looking to point fingers.
Rash says the group will hold public forums across the state. Tomorrow, one of those forums will be held at the Black River Beach Neighborhood Center. That starts at 12:30 p.m. Reporting in the newsroom, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
Thank you, Grace. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers is in La Crosse today. He toured the St. Clair Health Mission and touted his efforts to expand affordable health care access across the state, including securing over $1 billion in health care funding in the latest biennial budget. Evers says investing in clinics like St. Clair can help every Wisconsinite get quality care.
Not going to be able to force the healthcare systems to receive less money. They have costs just like everybody else. So the state has to be on top of it and be ready. That's the bottom line. We need to continue to support the healthcare systems.
Evers also visited the Chippewa Valley Free Clinic in Eau Claire today. Aspirus Health will break ground on their new hospital and clinic in Chippewa Falls next week. The health system announced plans of the 35,000 square foot facility in November. Services will include primary and inpatient care, emergency services, and lab imaging. They hope to open by fall of 2026.
Well, after almost a week of dealing with that haze, we finally saw good improvement going today. Air quality alerts have been dropped across the area, and we had a pretty nice afternoon because of it. A little bit warmer out there as well, so I hope you got to enjoy it. Right now, we're sitting in the yellow, which isn't extremely healthy all the way, but definitely not seeing a whole lot of unhealthy amounts of smoke near the surface anymore. Still holding on to some of that unhealthy for sensitive groups air over into eastern Wisconsin. That's where we're still seeing some air quality alerts, but everyone else back home is in the clear for now. I'm sure we'll still have some issues going as we go through the rest of the summer and those fires continue to burn. Otherwise, right now we're seeing 82 and mostly sunny, a couple clouds out there in La Crosse. I felt about 2 raindrops on the way into work today, so other than that, we've had a fairly uneventful day outside. A couple more clouds in Eau Claire as well, and additionally 82. So a tad bit warmer today. Again, we're going to continue to see that light warming trend as we go throughout the rest of the week, so definitely enjoy this evening ahead of us. It's going to be nice and mild, one of the only few mild evenings that we have for the rest of the week. So we're going to continue to see these summer temperatures enter back into the forecast. And Eau Claire, you'll be staying in the upper 70s throughout much of the night. So again, everybody else is really staying fairly comfortable tonight. Possibly another comfortable day tomorrow, but then the heat is really coming back in as we go into Thursday. So I'll have the details in a little bit.
All right, so cherish the next few hours, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nicole. Well, not guilty pleas for the man accused of possessing child sexual abuse materials. Registered sex offender Jonathan Statz faces 10 counts of child porn possession and failure to maintain sex offender registry. He's bound over for trial and remains held on a $100,000 cash bond. Across the country, neighborhoods are celebrating National Night Out, a night focused on building partnerships between police officers and the communities they serve. Our own Allison Ferget joins us live tonight at one La Crosse celebration. Allison.
We're at American Legion Post 52 here in La Crosse. Celebrations are just getting underway. The party started just a few minutes ago, but I'm joined tonight with Captain Avery Schott with the La Crosse Police Department. Captain Schott, why is it so important to have this National Night Out, an opportunity to build community with our neighbors?
I think it's just a great chance for us to kind of just pause on our busy lives, connect with our neighbors, say hello, make those connections and those relationships. They're so important when it comes to getting to know your neighbors and having the opportunity to build the relationships and help each other stay safe.
And why is it so important to have that trust too with our first responders and with you?
Yeah, once you get to know that face-to-face and you have those interactions in those positive ways, it helps when you are in crisis and you need to make those calls. You know who you're calling and you have that trust already built with them.
Fantastic. And looks like we have a lot of really fun events tonight. We have some live music already, some games, some bouncy houses. What are you most excited for tonight?
I think like just the being able to come together and see faces that I haven't seen for a while, have those friendly faces, those hellos, that the willingness for people just to meet one another and learn about each other's lives is so important. And I'm excited just to make those connections for the first time and then reconnections for many of the people that I know in the community.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Captain Schott. Really appreciate it. And the festivities tonight, they go until 7 p.m. So still plenty of time for anyone who wants to come down, meet their local officers, and just get together with their community. But reporting in La Crosse, Allison Ferget, News 8 Now.
Allison, thanks very much. Students at Winona State are learning to build the future of cars. The university hosted a composites technology boot camp this morning, teaching hands-on skills for the automotive industry. Participants learned techniques like vacuum resin infusion and 3D mold making. The program partners with industry experts to train students for real manufacturing jobs.
One of these parts on this car is made with a different processing method. And so in the span of a week, participants are able to come in and make a bunch of parts with different processing and get hands-on experience.
Participants also enjoyed free food and lodging nearby for a full on-campus feel. Golfers are teeing off today for a great cause at Fox Hollow Golf Course. The 39th annual Miracle Open benefits Children's Miracle Network hospitals at Amplify Health in La Crosse. The tournament raises money to help families support pediatric programs and buy specialty equipment for sick kids.
We do it for the kids. We do it for the families and the kids in our area. It's all local. Some families just don't have the means when tragedy hits their homes. This CMN helps them out.
The Seven Rivers Region Credit Unions hosted the four-person scramble. Still to come, President Trump reacts to the Texas standoff over redistricting plans and the latest push by Republicans for more Epstein files. Plus, long-awaited results from the Ocean Gate submarine disaster. Who was at fault and what officials want to do to prevent future accidents. Democratic lawmakers from Texas who fled the state say they'll continue to fight a Republican redistricting plan even under threats of arrest. Plus, more pressure on the Trump administration from Republicans looking into the Jeffrey Epstein case. Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
Sir, why are you on the roof? President Trump hinted at more construction projects at the White House Tuesday as he joined an architect on the roof of the building.
Just another way to spend my money for the country.
Earlier, the president weighed in on Texas Democrats fleeing the state to block a vote on a new congressional map he's pushing that would give Republicans an advantage in 5 more districts.
I won Texas. I got the highest vote in the history of Texas, as you probably know. And we are entitled to 5 more seats.
Speaking in Illinois, where many of the state lawmakers fled, Texas Democrats say they'll remain out of state until the special session ends, despite facing civil arrest warrants.
We're defending the rights of all Americans to value their vote.
The standoff could have national implications ahead of next year's midterm elections, with Democratic leaders threatening to retaliate with redistricting plans of their own.
This is a new Democratic Party. We're bringing a knife to a knife fight, and we are going to fight fire with fire.
The Trump administration is also facing new pressure today from Republican lawmakers looking into the Justice Department's investigation into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The House Oversight Committee subpoenaed the Justice Department for records related to the case. It is also seeking depositions from former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and 8 former top law enforcement officials. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
A long-awaited report on the Titan submersible disaster says the tragedy was preventable. Coast Guard investigators say OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush ignored safety warnings, design flaws, and crucial oversight. Rush was among the 5 people killed when the vessel imploded in June of 2023 on its way to the Titanic wreckage. Officials say greater oversight is needed in the deep-sea expedition industry.
It really is a wake-up call, to make sure you examine the certifications, go deeper into who's operating, ask some questions.
OceanGate suspended operations the month after the disaster, which prompted calls for stricter regulations in private deep-sea tourism. A company spokesperson said it was fully cooperating with the investigation. Some of the nominations for next month's MTV Video Music Awards have now been revealed. The first ever Best Country category includes Chris Stapleton, Jelly Roll, Megan Maroney, and Morgan Wallen. The Best Pop Artist nominees are Ariana Grande, Charli XCX, Justin Bieber, Lorde, Miley Cyrus, Sabrina Carpenter, and Tate McRae.
Sabrina Carpenter, who is actually who I think is going to take home this VMA. I mean, last year I got my espresso right here. It was all about espresso. So I think Sabrina Carpenter might take that one home.
You can watch the VMAs Sunday, September 7th, right here on CBS and MTV. It'll also be streaming on Paramount Plus. We will have more news ahead, but first.
We have summer temperatures rolling back in as we get towards the middle part of this week. I'll have all the details on how hot and how humid we're expecting on getting coming up right after the break.
The news continues on News 8 Now. Expect more.
The Gifford Fire in Central California is now the state's biggest this year. It's burning more than 82,000 acres. The wildfire is just 7% contained and expected to keep growing over the next few days. Officials say dry vegetation has contributed to the fire's explosive growth, and at least 3 people are injured. In western Wisconsin, a pretty mild summer day on this Tuesday, but heat and humidity on the way later this week. Let's get the details from Nicole.
Yeah, we had a very beautiful stretch of almost a false fall. We don't really want to call it fall quite yet because it was still in the end of July, and we still do have plenty of August ahead of us, but it was very mild the last couple days. Most of the area actually staying below 80 degrees for multiple days in a row, but now we're right back into the summer temperatures, back to near normal today and tomorrow. After that, though, we're going to continue to rise up to even warmer temperatures. Still feeling that subtle rise as we go into our overnight lows tonight. Much of the area staying in the 60s, although some of us further into central Wisconsin staying in the upper 50s when you're waking up in the morning, very close to our average lows. And then tomorrow's highs, again, very close to our average. 85 for your high going into Wednesday for La Crosse, 82 in Eau Claire. We do have a slight chance to maybe have a couple morning very light showers, but other than that, we're going to see a mostly sunny to partly cloudy day ahead of us with possibly some breezier winds tying with that as well. This will be a trend that we have going throughout the rest of the week as well. Winds start to become a little bit stronger now, especially once we get into the warmer days towards the end on Thursday and Friday. You'll definitely start to feel that wind, especially in the afternoon hours. But tomorrow it's going to be an all-day event. Definitely not gusty by any means, but we're done with that calmer pattern that we had for much of last week. The good news is these winds have done a great job of pushing that smoke out of the area. So now that we've seen that smoke move out, we have to take the wind by the chin and just deal with it. Again, not too gusty out there, but you'll definitely feel those winds throughout much of the rest of this week. With that rain chance, we'll have a thunderstorm complex moving across Minnesota as we go into tonight. Once you wake up tomorrow morning, there'll be remnants, but once that sun rises, the whole pattern switches and these thunderstorms really start to lose a lot of that fuel that they have going on overnight. So we still could see a couple scattered light showers throughout the area as we go into the late morning hours and maybe even into the early afternoon, but really not expecting a whole lot of rainfall to actually be accumulated with that, likely under about 1/4 of an inch if you're lucky. We will have extended cloud coverage though because of that. Hopefully a lot of those clouds move out a little bit later into the evening hours. Still looking to be warm though as highs climb back into the mid and low 80s across the area. As far as precipitation chances go for the rest of the week is really a similar trend to what we're seeing tomorrow. Not really seeing any widespread chances, but some chances nonetheless. Thursday we'll have another chance to possibly see some thunderstorms south of I-90, but really our main strongest chance that we have coming up will be going into the weekend for Saturday. So if you have any plans for Saturday, definitely going to want to keep that one in mind because we could have some thunderstorm activity. But until then, we have to get through that heat first. 92 for your high on Friday. That's going to be our warm one, and we're also going to be feeling the humidity with it. It's going to start feeling muggy as we go into tomorrow, and then by Thursday and Friday, that's when it starts to feel humid, even edging towards miserable sometimes as our dew points rise into the low 70s. Once they get above that, that's when you really know it's starting to feel a little bit sticky out. It's not going to last forever though, because by Sunday and Monday we already get back to near mild, but there's not really that sign of dipping down to how cool as we were before, but not too bad out there. It'll at least not be in the 90s for forever.
And that's true. And still, it's a tough entrance into the weekend with 92 and then a very humid 89 on Saturday.
Yeah, but hopefully Sunday will be a little bit cooler, so we have at least one day.
At least one. All right, thanks, Nicole. Still to come tonight, how Gen Z is keeping a video store alive in the streaming age. We'll take you to Video Wave right after this. Video stores have all but vanished in the age of streaming, but one California shop is thriving. Colin Hutton opened Video Wave in San Francisco back in 1983 with over 20,000 movies on DVD and VHS. And the store has found new life with Gen Z customers who love the browsing experience. They say there's something special about selecting movies by hand instead of scrolling through endless options.
When it comes to things that are streaming on your phone, it feels like everything's demanding your attention right away. And like these other things, there's a step removed from that.
Video Wave generates just enough income to stay afloat through a subscription model of $8 a month. The owner says the store currently has about 556 subscribers. I remember well the days of Blockbuster going with the entire family. Good stuff. And I guess Gen Z loves it. Well, we'll have another look at tonight's forecast courtesy of Nicole right after this.
Good night to go get some s'mores on the fire. Ooh. Maybe it's going to be buggy though, just like every other night it has been. So stay close to that fire and maybe the bugs will leave you alone. We had a gnarly bug on CityCam yesterday.
We sure did.
That was a cool experience. I like them when they stay on the camera.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thanks for joining us at 5. See you in a half.